Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar from Mercan Group. I would like to first start introducing all of our panelists from today, and like also to do a short presentation. And please, a warm welcome to Jerry Morgan. He's the president of Mercan Group of Companies and, of course, the founder of Mercan Group, and also founder of RE Group, Portuguese company that develops the properties in Portugal. Also joining us today, president of RE Group and vice president of Mercan Group, Mr. Jordi Villanova. And from ES, which is International Atlantic Services, the company that does golden visas, very well known for the fact that they have done over 1,000 golden visas altogether. So it's a well-known company in Portugal. From the whole legal team of that is available, Patricia is joining us today. Patricia will be helping and supporting with some questions related to the Golden Visa program, and hoping that all of you will be able to share some questions later in the presentation. And we'll have a section for Q&A. So keep some of those questions coming. We'll note them, and at the end we'll answer all of the questions that you'll be sending. Okay, Jerry, may I give the word to you and to explain a little bit about Mercan and where it's the starting points. Jerry, you muted.
Thank you, Francisco, and thank you everyone for coming here today. It's a pleasure to speak today. In terms of Mercan, our history goes back to 1989 when we first started. We started in Canada. But we quickly went to the United States in 1991, where we were one of the pioneers under the EB-5 program in the United States, which was one of the larger programs. Then in 1997, we expanded into China, and eventually we added companies, our recruitment company in the Philippines, and we started in Portugal in 2015, and we're building today, so where we're now on our 12th project in Portugal. We really have a foundation based on 3 countries. United States, we've been a pioneer in the EB-5 program. We've done over 38 projects and 1.5 billion of development. In Canada, we're the largest immigration firm, and we've helped over 40,000 people come to Canada. And in terms of Portugal, although we've only been there 5 years, we already have 12 projects under development, and we've done over 211 million euros of development work.
Very good. Thank you for that, Jerry. I would like also to give the word to Jordi. Jordi, now a little bit introducing the RE Group from Portugal.
Yes, thank you, Francisco. Thank you, Jerry. So yes, it's a pleasure to be with all of you today. I think we have people from all over the world covering all the time zones. So I guess good night for some of you, good morning for some of you. So let me share you a couple of slides. So the first thing is, yes, the RA Group is the largest developer in Portugal in the category of rehabilitation in terms of investments for Golden Visa, which means that 1 out of 2 Golden Visas granted in this category are from investors that are invested in our properties. Now, what's also very important, and Jerry mentioned that, we came in 2015 to Portugal. And when we came, it was the result of doing a due diligence of which one was the best European program. And we ended up with Portugal because it was, and it's still, the best Golden Visa program in Portugal, as my colleagues will further explain. But what is relevant is that when we came, we were the first company to do 3 things. We're the first ones to actually invest into the rehabilitation category in the 350,000 euros or 280,000 euros, as we will explain. We were also the first ones to actually do it on a co-ownership basis. So there are several investors investing into one property. And we were also the first ones, the pioneers in Portugal, after our more than 25 years experience in US and Canada of offering a buyback structure. So when we came, we set the pace for then others to try to do a similar thing. But we are, as I said, the largest developer currently in Portugal in that category. In terms of why Portugal, so when we look at the destination, and I'm just going into the next slide. When we look at the destination, there's no question that all of us will look at three things. The first one is hospitality. So here, Portugal is one of the most welcoming country in the world. The second thing we look at is safety, isn't it? So again, Portugal is in the top in terms of safest countries in the world. And the third thing we look at, undoubtedly, is the quality of life. So again, Portugal is ranked among the top countries in terms of quality of life. And finally, a key question is, okay, what's the outlook? What's the post-COVID-19 situation? So there are two things which are relevant. The first one is, according to Forbes, actually, Portugal is a preferred destination for people after COVID-19. And then the question which obviously comes up is said, yeah, but when is tourism, when are people coming back to Portugal? So we have statistics from this month of March saying that Portugal is amongst the 3 top destinations chosen by Europeans and North Americans where they will go after COVID-19. So yes, maybe we don't have yet a clear date of the ramp up, but there's no question that Portugal is coming back as soon as tourism, as soon as travel is resuming in Europe and in North America. And now I'll pass it to Patricia.
Yes, actually, with Patricia. Patricia, I think you will explain us what's the Golden Visa all about? How does the program work? Might give you the word for explaining this to all of us.
Yes, Francisco, thank you. So welcome everybody. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. So first of all, I would like to talk about the steps and timeline of the process. So we start here in what we call the year -1. So the process starts with signing the contract and all the legal documentation that will be needed, including the power of attorney for the lawyers in order to take care of everything that is needed during the process on investors' behalf, and also the proxy in case of Mercan, because Mercan will need authorization of the owners in order to take care of the licensing of all the projects. After we have all of these documents, first thing, we will obtain a Portuguese tax number for all the investors. It's needed in order to purchase real estate property in Portugal. After that, we will open a Portuguese bank account. After this bank account is open, we will ask the investors to transfer the funds. And when we have the funds, of course, we will perform the public deed, which is the moment when we actually purchase the real estate property. So after this, we are ready to initiate the Golden Visa process for itself. So I'd like to say that this process is divided in 2 stages. So the first stage, it's an online stage. And to this part, we will need some civil documents that we'll talk about more ahead, and we will submit it online. And this part will take from 8 to 12 weeks until we get what we call the pre-approval, which is it's the first analysis of the file. It's very not too much detailed, for so to speak. So it's just really a pre-approval. So after that, we are ready for the second stage here that we call the biometrics appointment, which will be the visit of the investors to Portugal. So this is a very simple appointment, no interview, just basically to collect photos, biometric data, and also signature, and to deliver all the documents to the immigration department and it's pretty much it. Not too long, not too difficult, pretty simple. So after this, we will have to wait from 6 to 8 months, I'm sorry, average time, until we get the approval, the final approval. So here, it's when starts the year 0 from the Golden Visa. So it's when the 5 years start counting, it's at this stage. So the first card will be issued with a validity of 2 years, which means that on the second year, the investors need to come back to renew the cards, and also in the 4th year, the same procedure, and so on. When the investors achieve 5 years of program, they are now entitled to follow one of the steps that are here in the presentation, or the permanent residency, or the citizenship. Let's move on to the next slide. And I would like to also talk about some updates that the requirements first. So this is something that I found really interesting in the Portuguese program. The requirements are very, very simple and very unique. So for the Portuguese program, there are no age limits, meaning anyone can apply. No management experience needed, no education limit, no financial proof. So this is very particular from the Portuguese program, which makes the program really attractive. Also, we have the amount of the investment. I'm just going to talk about the investment in the real estate properties. And in Portugal, we have 2 main categories, which is the investment in real estate properties already finished, which the amount is 500,000 euros, and also the rehabilitation category, in which Mercan is focused on, and it will be 350,000 euros. Or if the property is located in low population density areas, this amount will be 280,000. Then we have this requirement here, it's 7 days of stay. This is a requirement in order to renew the card, meaning from 2 to 2 years, when the investor comes to renew the card, you will have to stay 7 days per year in Portugal in order to be able to renew the card. These 7 years per year doesn't really mean, they don't need to come every year. So if they prefer, they can come from 2 to 2 years and spend 14 days straight. The investment is for 5 years. So after these 5 years, as we saw in the previous slides, you will be entitled to pursue or the permanent residency or the nationality. And another great thing about this program, it's the documents, because actually it's very few documents needed in order to apply for this program. Basically, we will need a non-criminal record from the investor. For the spouse, we will need a non-criminal record, marriage certificate, and for the children, birth certificates. So it's not that much. Of course, there are special cases that I would like to address briefly. For children with 16 or above, we will also need the non-criminal record. And for children above 18 or above, we will also need a non-criminal record, a proof that they are studying, and also a civil status proof, because they need to be single in order to reunite on this program. Just another particular case that I would like to mention, because I think it's important, it's related to parents. Can also reunite parents on this program. In this case, we need to prove the economic dependency. This will only apply for parents that are below 65. If they are 65 or above, we don't need to present this proof. So that's it regarding the requirements. And now I would like to talk about some recent updates on the program. So actually this year we have a law that came out and will be enforced in beginning of 2022. And this new law will restrict the application of the Golden Visa. So 2021 is the last year for residential real estate programs to be eligible for Golden Visa. So starting 2022, this type of properties will no longer be suitable to get the Golden Visa. Also, there's another change related with the investment in funds. So in 2022, the amount of investment will increase from 350,000 to 500,000 as minimum amount of investment. But I think it's important to mention here that real estate properties with a service or commercial scope, which is the case of Mercan properties, will still be eligible for Golden Visa in coastal cities, including Porto and Lisbon, which are the most popular cities. In addition, just to refer that residential real estate investments in the archipelagos of Madeira and Açores will continue to qualify for Golden Visa purpose.
Thank you very much, Patricia. I think now I'm going to give out the word to Jerry. Jerry, you have some presentation to do right now, and not only on the scope of the what we're investing in, but also on the properties, right? So I'm going to give control to you so that you're able to control the presentation from your end. I guess it's working from now. I'd like to ask everyone in the meantime to put out some questions for a later stage where we'll be answering all the questions and there will be a time for it. Jerry, thank you very much.
Thank you, Francisco. As we mentioned, there's a number of different investment options that you can look at. And the main ones that have been in the past is the 500,000, where you purchase an actual property in Lisbon or Porto. This investment is still available till the end of the year, but starting next year, it will no longer be available. Then you also have the 350,000 and 280,000 rehabilitation categories. And this is the program that we specialize in. In fact, we have 50% of the market in Portugal in these two categories. And the price in these categories will remain the same next year. So this program will continue to be available. And then finally, you have the fund categories. And the funds, actually, there's only been 67 Golden Visas issued in the funds in the last 5 years. And unfortunately, the price will increase to 500,000 in January of next year. So they probably won't be very popular in the future.
Jerry, you need to control my screen. Yeah.
Oh, there, just got it. Okay, today we'll be talking about three main projects. One will be in Porto in the north, will be a new Holiday Inn Express hotel at 350,000 euros. Second, we'll have a 280,000 euro project, a Holiday Inn in Evora. And third, we'll have an individual ownership, a Porto Art Suite, which will be in Porto.
Jerry, you still need to, it was me who changed the slide. You need to accept my invitation to control my screen.
Okay.
Are you able to make it?
Okay, here it is.
Great.
Okay, we'll be talking first about the Porto Holiday Inn. Now, this hotel is located right in the heart of Porto. As you can see on the screen, the darkened area is the historic district, and beside it, you have the business district. So we call it the best of both worlds, where you're going to be on the edge of the business area and on the edge of the historic area. Just won't seem to change. Okay, so the hotel is located in the heart of the business and leisure area. So you're right beside a brand new business shopping area, which is the El Cortes, Ingles, and you're also right beside a future Porto office park. So this area will be up and coming. It'll be a great area for a business hotel and leisure hotel. Okay, here's the way the hotel will look. It's going to be 59 investors, and it's going to be a 95-room Holiday Inn Express. It's close to the metro station, and it's in the heart of the business area and the historic area. So it's a great location. Francisco? Okay, now this investment is 350,000 euros per investor. The total investment is 20 million euros, and we have an appraisal at 22 million. So you really know you're paying fair market value. This investment will also pay you a return of 3% per year, payable upon opening the hotel and payable on an annual basis. Now, what makes this hotel very unique is there's no taxes. We paid the taxes, the IMT taxes and the VAT taxes. So we've covered over 20,000 euros of taxes on this project. So you really only have to pay the 350,000 euros. So it's a significant saving for your investment. Now, this project offers a guaranteed buyback after 6 years, or after, in fact, when you get your permanent residency or citizenship. In addition, you get 7 free days per year, or if you want, 14 days every 2 years. Now, the hotel will have a reception area, dining facilities, a leisure facilities, so it's an adaptable design. Now the rooms will be comfortable rooms and relaxing. So that's the first hotel, which is, this hotel will be available as of this date, and it's ready for purchase now. The next hotel will be in Evora. And this is going to also be a Holiday Inn Express. So this is the way the hotel will look. Because it's such a historic location, it's going to be a historic looking Holiday Inn Express. So this is how the hotel is going to look. So here's the historic area of Evora, and it's right on the edge of the historic area. Now, this city is a UNESCO heritage site, the historic area, for many reasons. It goes back to the Roman era, where you have all these historic buildings from the Roman era. You have a famous aqueduct that goes back to the 1500s. You have a famous chapel of bones, where the interior is made out of skulls and bones. And you have the famous Geraldo Square going back to the 1500s. And you also have Evora University, which is the second oldest university in Portugal. Now, the city is famous. It's a famous wine region and olive region, where, you know, quite often throughout the year, and that's what keeps the tourism going, is you have wine tours throughout the year. So it's very popular for wine and olive oil tours. So it's really quite popular. Now, as I mentioned, the hotel is located near all the tourist spots in the city, and it's also basically an hour drive from Lisbon. Now, what's unique about this project and this city is Portugal has announced with Spain that they're going to create a high-speed train from Lisbon to Madrid. This train will lower the time. They'll take 2 hours and 45 minutes to go from Lisbon to Madrid. And the train is going to stop in Evora, which means Evora will only be 25 minutes from Lisbon. So the tourism expected for Evora could be significant when this opens in 2023. So this is a very positive sign for your investment. As I mentioned, this hotel is an investment of 280,000 euros, and it's good for 60 investors. Now, the investment itself will be 16 million euros, and the appraisal by the international appraisal company comes in at 18 million euros. So again, you know you're paying fair market value. Now, what we've also done on this one to lower your investment amounts is, again, we've paid the IMT transfer tax, which is over 15,000 euros, and we've also paid the VAT. So it's a saving about 20,000 euros for each investor in this project. So it's very attractive. If you're looking at a budget, I don't think you can get a better deal and a high quality project like this for that amount of money. So it's really a good value. Now, here again, it's a Holiday Inn Express. It's going to have a comfortable reception area. Again, dining facilities, leisure facilities, and again, comfortable sleeping facilities. There's also going to be a bar. And, you know, that's the Evora Hotel. So that's our second hotel. So first we have the 350,000 in Porto. We have the 280,000 in Evora. Now, both of these projects are on the concept of cooperative ownership, which means as a group, the investors will own the whole hotel. Now, we have a different concept in the Porto Art Suites. You know, for people that want an individual ownership, we have this type of project where you will actually own an individual unit. And this is the project. It'll be right in the heart of the historic district in Porto. And it will be 24 service apartments. Okay. So the hotel itself, as you can see on the map, it's right on the right beside the bridge overlooking the river. So you're right in the heart of the historic area, and you can have quick access to go across the river. So it's a fantastic location. And as you can see, it's just down the street from our Porto Bellas Arts Hotel. So the people staying in the Suites Hotel will have use of the facilities in our other hotel, and also use of the reservation system to keep the hotel full. So this is fully furnished service apartments of 1 bedroom and bachelor units. You have a perfect blend of design and history. And as I mentioned, you have access to other hotels' facilities. Now, this one, again, you get 7 days free per year. But because you own the unit, you could have access to additional days if you're looking for a longer term stay or more frequent visit to Porto. Again, here's the hotel. This project is for 21 investors. We have 18 units of 1 bedroom, and then we have 3 units of 2 individual bachelor suites. So the difference of this one is you actually own the unit, a specific unit that's registered in your name. So it's something different. And what also is, the return is variable, and the capital gain is yours at the end. So a little more risk, a little more return. So here's a financial preview of the project. As you can see, it's projected to have a return of between 4.2% to 7.5%. So the return can vary per year, but it can offer a higher return. And at the end, the capital gain will be yours, and you decide when you want to sell it. Now, here's a schedule of the different apartments, and we have the plans for each layout, so you can have a look at which one you like, if you like the balcony or if you like the view, and we can give you a layout and a plan for the entire project. Now, I'd like to talk about one last project, which is our Lapa Marriott Renaissance Hotel, which we put on the market about 6 months ago. And this project was about 160 investors, and we have about 8 units left in this project. So it's really at the end. but it's a project of 163 rooms, and it's a hotel and convention center. It's right in the heart of the historic area, a fantastic location, a hotel that the city, and it's a very important project for the city. So it's really a significant project. And the advantage with this one, here's views of days and nights. You can see it's a very spectacular view, spectacular project. And it's going to be 163 rooms. And as you can see in the picture, construction started a month ago, and it's well underway with this project opening in the summer of 2022. So it's still, you still have a last chance. There's 8 units left in this project. And here's So that's the project that's well underway. So this project is for 160 investors. It's a hotel and conference center. The investment is $350,000. There's still about 8 units left, so it's still available for those that want to buy it, and it will be opening in summer of 2022. Sorry. Now, I'd like to go into some of our track record and some of the projects we've already done. Now, the first one is called Casa de Campiña, and this hotel is a 5-star hotel located on one of the most historic and popular streets in Porto. It's a walking street, and this hotel goes back 250 years. It used to be where they stored the King's port wine, and it's a beautiful property. It'll be opening this summer. The second one is called the Seu Cathedral, and this is going to be a Hilton Tapestry Hotel. It's located right in the center of the city beside the Seu Cathedral, one of the most popular tourist destinations, and right beside the train station. This is an 80-room hotel that'll be opening this summer as well. The next one is called the Fontina Hotel. In Porto, there's a famous street called Santa Catarina. It's a walking street where people do lots of shopping and there's lots of tours. This hotel is located on that street, and it will also be opening this summer. The next one is the Riverport Douro Hotel. And this one is on the other side of the river, which means you have views overlooking the UNESCO Heritage Site. So it's going to be probably some of the best views that you can experience from a hotel property in Porto. And this will be opening next year. In 2023. The next one is called Casa de Larias, and it's a boutique hotel located in Amarante, which is about 40 minutes from Porto. This region is very famous for green wines. This property is right on the river. It's a beautiful boutique hotel, and it will be opening this summer as well. The next one is Porto Arts Hotel, and this one is going to be tied to the Suites Hotel that we talked about in our presentation. This hotel is under construction, and it'll be opening in the summer of 2022. So it'll be opening the same time as the Suites Hotel will be opening. The next one is a 4 Points by Sheraton. This is a hotel in a different location. It's one block from the biggest beach in Porto, where people go surfing. It's a beautiful location. And this hotel will be opening this summer as well. Next, we have a Hilton Garden Inn, which is going to be in Evora. This one we just sold out recently, and it's located in Evora, and it'll be opening next summer. And again, the last one will be the Porto Lapa Park, and this one will also open next summer. So that gives you a background on the projects that we're working on. Now I'd like to open it up to question and answers. Thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you very much, Jerry. I guess it's a very comprehensive presentation, a lot of new projects coming in, and already some that have been there. And it's been amazing to see the progress of the constructions. Jordi, I've been collecting some questions. I'll throw it to both you, Jerry, and also Patricia when it's connected to the Golden Visa. Jordi, first question I want to ask you, because Jerry was mentioning a lot of projects here, and so this totals, we have around 12 properties. So this totals how many investors at the moment?
So yeah, at the moment we are over 500 investors that are investing or have invested in our properties, and we expect to continue at the same rate during this year, 2021, as well as 2022.
So new things coming, right?
Right, as Jerry and as Patricia mentioned, our properties comply with the Golden Visa because we are in the category of rehabilitation, number one, but more importantly, we are in the category of commercial and hospitality, which means that the Golden Visa investors in that category will continue to invest in that category, and the amounts will continue to be the same. No changes.
Thank you very much, Jordi. So I'll have you on the line here just for the first question that I have. So are these investment opportunities backed by the Portuguese government? Can you help with this?
Yes, that's a very important question. So a key requirement for the Golden Visa investors to apply for the Golden Visa is to make sure that the investment they do complies with the regulation of the Golden Visa. And all our properties comply with the regulations issued by the Portuguese government in terms of qualifying for the Golden Visa, all of them.
Okay, thank you very much. Jerry, I guess one of the questions that keeps popping up is, what are the protections for the investment? So if someone wants to come in, and I would say that in the Porto Art Suite, of course, they own a property, in this case on the co-ownership, what are the guarantees, the protections for its investment that the investors will have? Well,
most people, when they do real estate, they tend to borrow a lot of money, and that's usually when they get into trouble. All our projects are funded with 100% equity, which means they can have a very low occupancy rate and still make money. So the way it's structured is 100% equity. And what we, in our documents, all the revenues and profits that are generated each year from the project, the funds are put aside in a fund for the investors for the buyback of their investment. So we don't take any money from the operation of the project. All the money goes towards the investors. And by the year 6.5, we have about 40% of the guaranteed buyback available. But keep in mind, a lot of our investors are from different parts of the world, and not everyone wants to get the passport right away. A lot of people are very happy with the Schengen visa and will look at a cash out maybe 8, 10, 12 years down the road. So we have an orderly, because we have different people, we have orderly buyout. If at any point in time there's the demand for buyback exceeds the funds available, because the hotel has no debt, it's very easy for us to line up additional lines of credit to cover the request for buyback. So there's always a solution in place to ensure that everybody gets their guaranteed buyback. Ourselves, we only make money by doing the buyback. We don't make money without the buyback.
Understood. Thank you so much for that, Jerry. Patricia, may I ask you this question, because people are asking how many different attorney law firms options are there for legal support with Golden Visa application process? Is this something that you can help with?
Thank you, Francisco. Of course, there are a lot of law firms providing a golden visa process, but what I can tell you is that Yash, we together, all the lawyers working in Yash, we handled more than 1,000 golden visa files. So we are really experts in golden visa process. In fact, in terms of the rehabilitation category applications, we are the leaders in Portugal. So although there's a lot of choice, I think Yash, it's the best choice for this particular category at least.
Thank you, Patricia. Jordi, I think one question here, it's related to living in Portugal. So does Mercan provide information on private health insurance coverage for those who obtain golden visas?
Thank you, Francisco. Yes, actually, one very important thing that we should stress is about the offer that as Mercan Group we have here in Portugal for our investors. It means that not only we support them in their investment, obviously, as well as through Patricia was talking about ES, about the golden visa process. But one of our uniqueness is that we also support in terms of hosting, in some cases even in settlement if they want to actually settle in Portugal. So we have a full service, full range services, which goes from providing health insurance if they require health insurance, all the way to looking for schools or looking for additional requirements that they might have to settle here in Portugal.
Thank you, Jordi. Patricia, I have a question here for you because you've been a lawyer that is dedicated also to real estate properties. Do you have more or less an idea what will be the impact in past 2021, let's say, due to the changes that started in 2022? So what will be actually in real estate measures, the impact of the new law that basically says that it's not possible anymore for the residential properties to be eligible for golden visa?
Yes, Francisco, as I mentioned in my presentation, real estate properties for residential purpose will no longer be suitable for golden visa. So I think this will bring a huge change on the real estate market, because in order to apply for the golden visa, you have to go for the commercial units or real estate properties. Otherwise, it will no longer be suitable for this proposal. So I think it will be a drastic change. Commercial and commercial properties for sure will have more search by the investors. Yes.
Jordi, I think the same question applies to you. As you know, we've been here for many years now, since 2015. So you've seen the market. So what is your view also on the impact of these changes from a developer point of view? What's your view?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, as it has been published, one of the reasons why the government issued these changes is because they were aware that the demand of residential investment by golden visa investors was preventing some of the real estate developments to be available for the Portuguese population. On the other hand, what the government has also acknowledged is that the contribution of golden visa investors in the category, in the commercial category, in the hospitality category, has been significant, because indirectly the job creation in the construction, the job creation in the hotel management because of the tourism services has been a key component of the golden visa value add into this country. And this means, so the consequence is that in terms of real estate, the residential real estate after January 2022 will suffer a significant change because of the limitations coming from the golden visa requirements.
Thank you very much, Jordi. Jerry, let me throw this question to you, because one of the questions that I've seen here is that what are the available financial options? So financing what kind of financing is there availability for these programs, for these kind of programs?
Well, unfortunately, the way the program works is you need to open your personal bank account, and you need to have the funds available either for the 350,000 or for the 280,000. Should you be seeking any financing options, they're going to have to be done outside of Portugal.
Okay, thank you very much, Jerry. Patricia, any restrictions based on certain nationalities? I guess we're working now with over 45 nationalities, so we have some good idea how if there's any restriction.
Yes, Francisco. So there are any restriction regarding nationalities. So everyone from every part of the world can apply for the Golden Visa program.
Okay, very good. So, Jordi, I have a good question here for you. So what is the outlook for the Portuguese hotel investments given the deadline in tourism because of COVID-19 and COVID-19 time? So I guess this relates a little bit to your presentation on COVID time. But is there no risk for of one new American, for instance, hotels will go bust or leaving Golden Visa investors penniless, something like that? So this question is quite interesting for you.
Yes, thank you, Francisco. So there are two indicators, actually three indicators that we are following very closely. The first one, as I mentioned in the presentation, there are some reports and research done, like the one done by Forbes, which indicates that Portugal is a preferred destination after COVID-19. The second point that is relevant, we are following very closely the demand for different countries, and this is a demand, and we actually have the statistics from March, from this month. So this is a survey, a permanent survey going on in Europe and in North America, asking people where will they go after COVID-19, and Portugal is in the top three, both in Europe to European citizens. And this includes people coming from the UK, people coming from France, people coming from Northern Europe, as well as people coming from North America. So there is no concern about the fact that Portugal will definitely be a preferred destination after COVID-19. Then the third component is, okay, when is this going to happen? So the third component that we are following very closely is the travel, especially the airline. And we already have indication from not only European airlines, but also international airlines like Emirates, that they plan to enhance their routes starting after the vaccination period, which we expect here in Portugal to reach a substantial level of vaccination right before summer. So we expect right during summer, right after summer, when the vaccination levels are significant, that these indicators, so people coming to Portugal as one of their preferred destinations, will happen, will ramp up after summer.
Thank you, Jordi. Jerry, I guess we've been lately dealing a lot with US clients. I think one question that keeps popping up, and I think this is relevant, and maybe you can help, on information on how to use US IRA funds to invest while avoiding early withdrawal penalties. Can you help with this?
I've been getting this from quite a few individuals from the US wondering how they can use their IRS plans. And basically, if you invest in Portugal, one way to invest is to create a self company in Portugal, where you own 100% of that company. That company is used as a vehicle to purchase your investment. What you need to do is, if you're looking at this option, is to go to your service provider and ask them, what will it take to make it work for your program? Because each plan is a little bit different. But from what we understand, as long as you own the company, and it seems that you are not a director of that company, it should generally be able to qualify. So this is something, please check with your plan advisor and see what will work. And we will do everything we can to help you to make it work.
Thank you, Jerry. And have you, I'm going to ask another question that actually deals with the presentation. You mentioned that the track record that we have Hilton Garden Inn in Évora, and now with the new project, Évora Holiday Inn, isn't this within an eye shot of Hilton Garden Inn? Isn't this cross killing the stays at the other hotel?
No, actually, they'll complement each other. One is a 4-star hotel, one is a 3-star hotel. One is a Holiday Inn reservation system, the other is a Hilton reservation system. So we see Évora as probably the best location in all of Portugal to do a 280,000 investment project. We think Évora is going to boom with the high-speed train. And even right now, the tourism is year-round in Évora. So it's a great market. And in fact, we even plan to do a third one. We're that confident in the market.
I think that's very good, Jerry. Patricia, we have a question here that maybe you can help. How is Portugal dealing with the biometrics? So, most of the country has been closed to foreign tourists for the past months. So how is biometrics going?
Yes, Francisco. Actually, this is one of our biggest constraints right now is the biometrics appointment because currently Portugal is in lockdown, but the situation we expect to change in the next week. So we have some appointments that we were able to schedule before, but we are hoping that for next month we will have vacancies to schedule all of our clients to come to Portugal and take care of the biometrics collection.
That's great, Patricia. Now that I have you, I'm going to ask you just a little bit more technical question, I guess, because we have here someone asking, how do you prove a dependency in the case of family reunification? What kind of documents are needed? So can you elaborate a little bit on what kind of documents go around in the applications?
For sure. If we are talking about the children, we will need to provide a proof that they are studying full-time, so school enrollment will be suitable. We also need to present a proof that they are unmarried. So this can work in different ways according to the countries, the origin countries, but a document authenticated by a notary or similar entity testing that they are unmarried. Regarding the parents, this can also work in different ways. But for example, we can prove that the parents are living with the investor or with the spouse. The parents of the spouse can also be reunited in the Portuguese program. We can also provide proofs that the regular transfers are made from the investors to the parents in order to prove that they provide for the regular expenses. So these are the most common type of proofs that we present, and we know that they are accepted for the immigration department.
Thank you very much, Patricia. Jerry, I guess we have some people interested in LAPA because there's some questions. And one of the main questions that I've seen here is actually, you mentioned that for the case of the Holiday Inn Express in Porto, there's a big component here, the fact that the IMT is going to be financed by you. What happens in the case of LAPA? Is it the same thing? What are, in terms of taxes, what are the implications here in both projects? What are the differences and the similarities, let's say, in these two projects?
The only difference is on the LAPA project, the Renaissance, you have to pay an IMT transfer tax of 13,000 euros. The other one, the new project, there's no transfer tax.
I understand. So basically, someone that's coming in, so the big benefit of, let's say, John and LAPA would be the fact that it's already in construction, right?
I think so. It's a larger project. It's something that looks quite beautiful. It's just, each project has a little bit different. So we kind of try and have something for everybody, So we do have a variety in our projects, and they're all a little bit different. And people look, a lot of our customers have different hopes, different wishes, different wants.
Okay, thank you very much, Jerry. Patricia, I think this one's for you because we have someone here asking, provided I have a permanent residency, so someone that already obtains a permanent residency, so what is the requirements? What do I need to do in order to maintain this title? So it's going to be a permanent residency. Once I get it, what do I need to do in order to keep it? So because I guess there's 5 years, right? So this has a limit. You will have to renew it every 5 years, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Francisco. In Portugal, I think we are talking about permanent residency for clients that's coming from the Golden Visa process. So in this case, the requirements will be pretty much the same, except in this case, instead of the title has the validity of 2 years, it will have a validity of 5. So the applicants, when they want to renew the permanent residency, they will have to spend 7 days per year in Portugal in order to renew it on the fifth year of the title.
Thank you very much, Patricia. Well, Jordi, I saw here a question that I think it relates a little bit to what Jerry was doing in the presentation, but it also to the outlook for Portugal. So some projects are opening next summer, and this is always a big if. What if the tourism it's affected by COVID, doesn't have enough guests? What Mercan will still pay the 3%? Can you help us with that?
Yeah, so this is why when we talked about the different hotels and planned opening, that's why it is clear that we, like the industry here in Portugal, we are now looking very carefully about when it's the right time to open, whether it's the month of June, whether it's the month of July, whether it's the month of August. So that's the decision that Mercan will be doing. And at the moment that the hotel is open, that's when, from that time onwards, that's when the investor will be accruing the 3%. So that's the plan that we have as Mercan, as any other hotel manager or hotel developer here in Portugal, or for that matter, in other countries as well.
Thank you, Jordi. Well, Patricia, I think that's there's always a question about taxes and having a golden visa. It means that you're resident in Portugal, but does this mean that you'll have to pay taxes in Portugal from your worldwide income? Let's say if you have a golden visa, do you have to start paying taxes here in Portugal? Can you help with that, please?
Yes, Francisco. Okay, so just 1 minute. Okay, sorry. Okay. Well, not exactly. You don't have to pay taxes just because you have the golden visa. But in this particular type of investment, which is the real estate investment, if you have income from this investment, you will have to pay taxes. Currently, there's a tax of 28% of the rent received that you have to pay here in Portugal.
Thank you, Patricia. Well, Jordi, on my previous question, I think I made the assumption that it would be in the next years, but I got another question related to the same question, saying that it's not, let's say it's not in 2 years' time, let's say it's in 6 years. So what happens to the investors? Will they have like an egg in their hands and they won't be able to do anything with it? What happens, let's say if there's a continuous or another outbreak or a different kind of outbreak in terms of hospitality in 6 years' time, when investors don't need the property anymore and they decide to sell it? So what are their guarantees? I think between you and Jerry will can help with this.
Well, I think, well, first, our structure of our investments really make us different than other companies. We operate with no debt. So, if a situation broke out where it was a very difficult situation, we would be able to function. Even now, we had hotels that were ready to open in the fall last year, late fall. But because we had no debt, no employees, it was very simple to postpone them. And simple, if another situation were to occur, we would not have problems weathering the storm. Keep in mind, Portugal draws a lot of its tourists from the European Union, which is an open body. So you're still going to have the Europeans coming in. But, if we have something, God forbid, that lasted 6 years, I don't think that would be the only problem we would be having. There would be so many other problems that we would have to face. And let's hope we don't have a 6-year situation.
Thank you, Jerry. Well, Jordi, I think this and one question that it's quite interesting because it mentions that what if the projects are not complete until 2022? Is there any other place where investors are able to stay here in Portugal for their 7 days free stay? What happens in this case?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So the advantage, as we mentioned, being the largest developer in Portugal in this category, in the rehabilitation category, now with 12 properties, it means that we have the opportunity to offer to our investors, regardless of where they made the investment. We have a program called the owner's policy, where any investor of any of our properties can stay in any of our properties. Let's say you invest now in the Holiday Inn in Évora, so you will have a special way to stay in Casa de Compañía or in the Marriott Hotel Renaissance. So even if your hotel is not completed till 2022, you will be able to stay in any of our hotels that will be open during 2021.
Thank you, Jordi. I think that's very comprehensive. Okay, I have one question that Jerry, maybe you'll be able to help, because you mentioned during the presentation that there are differences between co-ownership and individual ownership. So in practical terms, how is individual ownership different from co-ownership? So what is actually going on in the backstage per se for this different type of ownerships? What do actually the investors have in their hands when they have a co-ownership or when they own the property themselves?
Well, let's say you have 60 investors in a project. Each investor would own 1/60th of that hotel. So that would be registered on the deed of ownership as a percentage. So let's take something simple. There's 50 investors. Each investor would own 2% of that hotel. Now, if you have individual ownership, and if you have individual ownership, each investor owns a specific unit. But we've structured it, even though you own a specific unit, each investors as a whole will share in the profits of the hotel equally. So it's not a percent, you share equally in the profits of the hotel, and you decide when you sell that unit. One person may decide to keep it forever. Another person may decide to sell it after 6 or 7 or 8 years. So you have the freedom to choose when to sell it. But at the same time, if it goes up or if it goes down, it's on your plate. Whereas co-ownership, we have the guaranteed buyback. So you get a fixed return with a guaranteed buyback versus a potential higher return, individual ownership, and the capital gain or loss at the end is yours. That's the difference.
Okay, I think that very well answers the question. Patricia, you mentioned that over 1,000 Golden Visa applications between all the lawyers at ES. What has been the track record in terms of for investors? Have any of them been rejected in this case? What is the track record? How do you feel that? What is the cases for rejection? Can you help with that, please?
Yes, sure. Francisco, from our side, we never have a client that has been denied. What we have in the past was clients that no longer fulfill the requirements. For example, children that got married during the process, so they were unable to renew the cards. But a rejection per se, we never had it, as long as the clients provide all the documents that we ask. There's no rejection on the process.
Thank you very much. Well, yes.
Sorry, I just don't want to interrupt, but I've been seeing that this is a very important question that has been popped out a lot. What happens since the process? It takes a while, so to speak, about 1 year to get the car. What happens if the client wants to apply right now regarding these new changes? If there is any impact? So I would like just to, if you don't mind, to clarify that if you are invested, if you are investing in Mercan projects, this new law will have no effect at all, because they are, again, commercial properties. So the law will only change for residential property. So there's no risk that they, in the beginning of 2022, will no longer be suitable. So I just want to clarify that, because I saw some questions related to that, and I think it's very important.
Thank you, Patricia. That is in fact super important. Jordi, because you've mentioned the 7-day stay. How does it work if, let's say that an investor wants to come in and stay longer than 7 days? Is he able to book this hotel through Hilton? Let's say let's say that he buys into a Hilton or an Express, is he able to use the cards that they have at these hotels, at these brands, to be able to obtain discounts in these cases?
So, well, that's a very interesting question. I think it's a great benefit for our investors. The fact that they will be able to use any of the properties to actually get discounts. And for instance, the 7 days that they are allowed to be for free in their property, we can also offer a package where they can stay in any other property. It might be investors that they want to stay a couple of days in their property, a couple of days in Évora, a couple of days in Porto, a couple of days in Amarante. So we have designed a package so we can get the best out of any of the Mercan properties here in Portugal, out of the 12 properties here in Portugal.
Thank you, Jordi. Patricia, let me get back to you, because I think this is a fairly technical question, and mostly investors, when they come, they have to do their biometrics, their renewals. They are prompted to submit their documents at that time. Is it they do need to provide new documentation every time there's a renewal biometrics, let's say?
Okay, Francisco, what happens is that these documents, this what we call the civil documents, they have a validity. So, for example, the non-criminal record, it's only valid for 3 months. So let's say if you apply today and you will only come from the biometrics in 4 months' time, we will have to have a new non-criminal record. And the same will apply for the renewals. So all of these documents that are expired by the time of the appointment, we will need to issue new ones.
Thank you, Patricia. Well, we still have some questions coming in, a little bit of time. Wanted to ask everyone if they really have some questions later on. Don't worry, please send to these emails. We'll have available people just to reply to you if you have any further questions. In the meantime, just one question that popped up: should we wait for the project to be completed to reach the milestone before applying to Golden Visa? I guess it's between you, Jordi, and Patricia. I think Patricia, can you let us know what is the point in time where the investor has to can join the Golden Visa? Does he have to wait to complete the rehabilitation, or can he advance right now to the application? I think this is a very important question that that you can help.
Yes, indeed, Francisco, I think it's very important. So no, again, all the clients can apply right now. The requirements is that the property needs rehabilitation works, and there are licenses issued in regards of that work. So of course, all of these, the Mercan projects are in different stages now. Some of them are, the construction is starting right now. Some of them are almost finished, and in all of these stages, they are the applicants can apply for the Golden Visa.
Thank you, Patricia. Well, Jordi, this 7 days, it's something very interesting because it's something that people keep asking. And actually, there's someone that is invested and was trying to invest or is subscribed to the Hilton project, and is asking for himself is he able to stay the 7 days free stay in other hotel properties from Mercan, or does it have to be at the property that he's chosen?
Yeah, the free 7 days is at the property that they have chosen, but there are special packages that we are facilitating if they want to stay couple of days in any of the other properties. So they shouldn't be worried about that. We will make sure that we get the best package for them and for the families to stay in any of our properties, regardless of where they have made the investment.
Thank you, Jordi. I think that really helps to clear everything. Okay, Jerry, there's one question that you can maybe help here. In terms of, I think there's, oh, it just got away. Oh, yeah. So how do we book? No. Another question. Oh, this question just left the screen here. I was just about to go. Okay, there I have it. Okay, so Jerry, are you able to help? Is Mercan able to help? If, for instance, someone is looking to other properties aside from the ones that we offer, let's say that to invest into a hotel property like the ones that we offer through a Mercan group, let's say.
Yes, well, we do put together a number. We have a variety of 2 or 3 projects at any point in time, so those are always available. If someone is looking for an individual property, we're not brokers. That's not a business that we do, but we really focus on the hotel projects that you see today and that we put together. I guess if someone wanted some large investment, I guess we could deal with that independently.
Okay, thank you very much, Jerry. I think this is maybe Jordi, I think you can help with this because it refers to the buyback. So let's say that someone at the end of 6 years doesn't wish to go either for citizenship or permanent residency. Are they eligible to request for a buyback? Is this something that they are able to do?
Absolutely. Yes, after 6 years, they, regardless of whether, as you say, whether they are looking for permanent residency or for citizenship, they might decide that they just want the buyback. So that's part of the agreement. They can request the buyback as of year 6, regardless of their path going forward. Yeah.
And just probably it's a follow-up question on that as well. Let's say that an investor prefers to say he wants to keep on renewing Golden Visa. I guess it's different if you own the property, right? Or if there's a buyback option. So what happens if, for instance, an investor decides to keep on renewing the Golden Visa throughout time, not going either for citizenship or from residency? What are the benefits here? Can you please help?
So I think I lost the sound. Can you please repeat the question?
Sorry, Jerry. It was just a follow-up question
sorry.
on the.
Can you repeat?
On the. Yeah. It was just a follow-up question on the one that you previously answered. So let's say that an investor decides to keep the property and keep on renewing the Golden Visa. Doesn't want to go either for citizenship or from residency, but wants to keep the Golden Visa. So is there anything here that the investor can keep doing? Let's say, I think it differs from property to property, but can you please help clarify on that?
Yes, I mean, of course, in the buyback, they can continue to renew for the Golden Visa and to extend. You know, they'll renew on year 5, they can renew on year 7, so they can go on like this. Of course, if their plan is that they just want to go on and renew every time without a particular date for buyback, maybe they should be looking at the full ownership property that then they can really keep the property forever, and maybe if they're not looking at the buyback, that's more suitable for them. So it depends on what they are really looking for, but I guess both options would fit into that question.
That's great, Jordi. Thank you very much. Jerry, I think I'll ask you just because we're still seeing some questions, not a lot like coming in lately. I think people are very convinced about what everyone has been saying. Do you mind just sending, do you have some final comments for everyone while I'll gather some maybe final questions before we close this session?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify in terms of the Holiday Inn, the approvals are just pending the board approval and the signing of the franchise agreements, which will be done in the next 30 days. So that's just coming up in the next month. Just wanted to clarify that. I guess in conclusion, I just think that we really have some really fine projects available. I think they're great brand names, great locations. I think we try and look at our investors to see how we can save them money and how we can give a product that is easy to use, easy to participate in, and easy to get your money back at the end. I think our whole principle is based on safety, protecting our investors' money. And I think that's the goal that we follow from the beginning to the end.
Well, thank you so much, Jerry. We'll keep those notes in very high regard. Patricia, I think one just final question for you, because it's something that is coming up a lot in terms of citizenship requirements. Can for someone to apply for citizenship, what are the requirements there? What they need to do? And I think after this, we'll be able to close our session today. And as I mentioned, we have our emails here. Everyone can keep on following up, and we'll be gladly answering to everyone.
Okay, thank you, Francisco. Just 1 minute. Okay, so the main requirements are, of course, the 5 years of legal residency here in Portugal, in Portugal, which during the Golden Visa process, the applicants will fulfill these requirements. And of course, another important requirement will be the Portuguese test. So it will be required to have A2 level, A2 Portuguese level, in order to apply for nationality. These are the two most important requirements, but of course there are others. I just for some special cases, if you have had military service, not mandatory, in your home country, this can be a problem in order to have a Portuguese citizenship. And but what is more important is that for nationality, each case is a case and needs to be evaluated by the lawyers, of course. And we will always find the best solution for all the cases. I was just I think it's important to mention here, because I saw some questions about it for applicants that which the origin country doesn't allow dual citizenship. It's an important question. For these cases, if they don't want to lose the previous nationality, of course, they can always apply for permanent residency. It's an option. That's why we always talk about it. We mainly use it for clients in this situation that have other nationality that cannot accumulate with another one. So this is also a path that you might consider in regards to the immigration process. So I think that's it from my part.
Thank you, Patricia. Well, Jerry, I was about to finish, but there's another question that he has. I think it's very important, and it mentions the agreements, the franchise agreements. So you've mentioned that there's Marriott, there's now the Express by Holiday Inn. So are these agreements in place? Are you able to share any information regarding on that?
I just cleared that up, Francisco. I said that they were getting the board approval over the next month.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's very good. So to all of you, thank you very much for attending with us. I know that we have some other questions that might be coming up. We'll very gladly answer to all of you. I would also like to give a special thanks to Nomad Gate and Thomas, where it's been arranged and possible to show our projects and case studies. So without further ado, thank you so much. I hope to see you soon, and here in Portugal, visiting our projects or at least staying at one of our properties. We'll be looking forward to have you here, and please stay safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.